Hello everyone and welcome to my kitchen in my new home that we very thankfully closed on right before the world went crazy. So this isn't the same as getting to shoot the breeze with you all at the farmer's market or teach a class in person, which is a bummer, but at least it's a way to connect with one another and make this whole social distancing a little sweeter. So if you have bananas that you didn't quite get to, which is always my problem, this is a great way to make a delicious treat that is very versatile. I love banana bread just as much as the next person, but this is banana bread meets bananas Foster in a jar that you can put on ice cream or toast or a spoon in your face. And I owe Steve from the farmer's market, he's our amazing market manager, a huge thank you because he turned me onto this recipe and I am completely addicted. So I wanted to share it with you all, although I did tweak it a little. Mostly, as is my fashion, we're putting bourbon in it today. So this is my first time doing a cooking video. So bear with me as I learn how to do all of this. I figured doing it in my home kitchen is better because you'll all be cooking at home too. So if I'm doing this in my commercial kitchen, it's not going to really adapt, I think, as well for people. And also, let's be real, the lighting's way better here than the fluorescent lights in the commercial kitchen. And, you know, it was a nice excuse to put some makeup on and feel human for a moment. So with that, let's get started. You're going to see a picture, and that is our ingredients list. Super simple, pretty much everything you'd have on hand, I would assume. Going to be 3 cups of bananas, just about 3 or 4 bananas depending on the size of your banana. 2 cups of sugar, half a cup of water, a smidgen of bourbon, maybe a shot glass for yourself if you'd like, and a pinch of salt. You can also use vanilla extract. You could use a pinch of lime. I bet rum would be really good. I just happen to be a bourbon fan. So let's get going. Now this jam process is really easy, but it is a little time consuming because it takes a while to caramelize this much sugar. If you want to do it in the microwave, you can, but then you have to take a bowl full of boiling sugar and pour it into a pot to finish the process. So I personally prefer to just do it in a pot on the stove. And that ensures more even caramelization as well. All right, first thing we're going to do is pour our 2 cups of sugar, half cup of water into our saucepan. And I'm just going to give a quick whisk to make sure I don't have a mountain of sugar in the middle and everything is moistened. Once you start making your caramel, though, you do not want to whisk because whisking will break up the molecular reaction that creates beautiful caramel. So I'm just going to put my whisk aside. And I have a little water in the measuring cup now so that we can use water to douse the sides of the pot so we don't lose any delicious caramel to hardening on the side of the pot. And you want to have a medium-high heat. And this is going to take a little while to cook. Now in whisking, I already got a bunch of sugar on the side of the pot, so I'm just going to go ahead right now and start with a really clean work area. As our sugar starts to boil, you want to make sure your heat is distributing evenly. And you can swizzle your pot like this and you won't break down the caramelization. So that's how you just redistribute the heat as it goes. Now to rinse down the sides of the pot, you simply want to take some water on your brush and just right above where the sugar has built up, the water will wash it back down and you won't develop a wall of hard sugar on the side of your pot. Here you can see we're a little darker in color, and when I swizzle it, it's definitely thickening up. Now, here's the reason I prefer doing this stovetop is from here I can both see and smell how my caramel is progressing and get that nice, rich amber color before it tips to burnt. So now you can see we have a nice amber color going here, and the smell I'm getting is caramel, and it's starting to have that slight tinge to it that lets me know that if I walk away from this, it's going to burn. So I'm lucky. You can see my burner very legitimately shows me where its cool spot is. So I'm just giving this the last few swirls, hovering above the heat because I don't want to continue cooking it, just to make sure I even out all of that beautiful caramel. And you can see there is a little bit of buildup on the sides, but it's really not too bad. There's not a wall of crystallized sugar, which would happen if you aren't doing the water on the sides here. So now we're going to slowly and gently put our bananas in. You do not want to drop them from high up and splash yourself. But if you drop nice and low, it's not going to splash up per se. You can see it's talking to us. Now that we have added something to our caramel, we are allowed to stir. So I'm going to turn my heat nice and low now. Okay, now that I've defogged the camera, you can see it's settled down. There was a lot of steam, a lot of bubbling when we first added the banana. But now we've got, I can turn my heat up a little bit now. I'm staying pretty low though. And you don't have to worry about the sides hardening now because we're going to have a nice thick syrup going. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm a little impatient, so I like to break up my bananas. But this is why you want them sliced thin, so that they will cook down nice and quickly. Now the bananas I used were a little bit more brown than is ideal. But I did a mixture of less ripe bananas and more ripe bananas. If you use bananas that are all the way brown or more brown like mine, where you're going to end up with a thinner syrup because they'll cook down so completely. So we're going to let this simmer till our bananas are transparent and really cooked down nicely. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit so we can get an active simmer going. Now we have turned off the heat. You can see we have a nice brown color and just a few chunks of bananas. So I'm going to go ahead and use my whisk, whisking vigorously but with control so as not to splash out like I just did, boiling banana sugar on me. But it's alright if there's some banana chunks in there. And while I'm whisking, I've got some nice pink Himalayan salt. I'm going to just give it a little pinch of salt. You can see it's nice and thick, and as it cools, it'll thicken up even more too. Smash up. So the chunks that remain are because I had those couple bananas that weren't quite as ripe. And that's fine. But you can see how if you use a banana that's really, really overripe, then it's going to be a little too runny. All right. And now for the piece de resistance. This is a very nice bourbon. Buffalo Trace is my favorite. And normally I wouldn't use for cooking. Really good bourbon. But because this isn't actually going to get cooked off, it is nice to use a better bourbon. And I'm just going to go ahead and free pour this. Okay, well, thank you for joining me for banana jam. We have a very eager dog, and so this is the jam we made today. Nice dark color, and I split it between 2 jars so that it'll cool faster. As a point of reference, this is a small ball jar that I made yesterday to practice, and you can see how much smoother it is, and that's because the banana was the perfect ripeness and I didn't use any younger bananas. This was 1 banana, which made about 1 cup sliced. So I did 2/3 a cup of sugar and a little less, around 1/8 of a cup of water, and adjusted the rest. So if you have 1 banana that needs processing, you can make yourself a beautiful little ball jar of delicious banana jam. And when I posted that picture yesterday, one of the accounts that liked the post is a grilled cheese account, which gave me the idea for brie and banana jam on toast. So here we have an O'Malley's Oven buttermilk roll, toasted with the Old Chatham Kinderhook Creek. It's not a brie, but it is a 100% sheep cheese, very brie-esque, medium hardness or softness. I'm not very good with the brie type cheeses. But anyway, and you can really see the banana caramelization that we got today. So let's see. Oh my god. Okay guys, I'm signing off because this is going to get personal. Thank you for joining me. I really hope you're all doing well. And tell me all about your banana jam successes and failures, because failure is how we learn. All right, take care. Bye.